Welcome to episode 68 of Black, White, and Blue in the South, the podcast covering Democratic politics with a Southern flair. I'm Bill Kimmler.
I'm Jumelle Brooks.
And we're coming to you from Greenwood, South Carolina, a little red county in a very red state. If you like what you hear and think others ought to be listening as well, then you need to hit pause right now and leave a little rating for our show. Write a little review. Tell your friends about us, interact with us on social media, or better yet, put Jumelle and I on as guests with another podcast and let our light shine with a completely different audience, which is exactly what you are about to listen to today. We were invited to partake in a recent episode of a show called Politics of Being Black in America with host and creator extraordinaire Lamont Tyson. He has an extraordinarily popular YouTube channel with over 360,000 subscribers. Based in North Carolina, Lamont covers political as well as pop culture topics, and if you're looking for something to fill up your time between our episodes, I can't recommend him enough. A couple of words of caution, though. We're a little more unfiltered in this show than you may be used to, so we've put an explicit language flag on this episode. Those of you with sensitive ears, you have been warned. Also, this isn't our show that we produced, so you may find the audio quality to be of a different standard than you may be accustomed to. Still, I thought the content covered and the dynamics with Lamont to be outstanding. We talk about the Greenwood Christmas parade controversy, the National Guard being deployed to DC, and other topics that may be on the top of your mind. So listen, enjoy, and let us know what you think by dropping us a note at blackwhiteblue.in-the-south@gmail.com. You can also interact with us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, Mastodon, and Blue Sky. Just take a quick peek at those award-winning show notes in your podcast app, where you can find links to all of those accounts, the news items that we talk about, and more.
Oh, I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. Your favorite chocolate cover political speaking brother is back for the day, and I have some special guests here to talk to me about all the madness going on in MAGA. Number one, MAGA is raging war on women, in particularly educated women, secondarily educated liberal women, because you know what? The men in MAGA suck. They can't deal with the woman who's as smart as them. We've got that coming for you. We've also got Trump trying to take over Washington, D.C., lying to the people, saying that their crime is so bad and their homelessness is so bad that he's got to send his troops in there to take over. We'll tell you what's really going on with that. My guests are from a place in South Carolina that has had a whole lot of issues. I'm very familiar with South Carolina because I've had a couple of honey dips there that I had to leave their asses in South Carolina. So I can't wait to hear what they got to say about South Carolina. All that and so much more, it starts on my channel right now.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that full. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.
There they are, ladies and gentlemen. Black, White, and Blue from TikTok. Bill and Dr. Brooks, how are y'all doing today?
Good.
Super fantastic. Hey, Lamont, thanks for having us on, but I got to say, now that you mentioned you've been to South Carolina, I see a lot of little homies that kind of look like you running around town. So I got to ask, whereabouts you been dropping little Jeromes around?
Let's see here.
Or like little Lamonts.
I would never name anything Jerome. I can just tell you that right now. When I hear Jerome, I think of fucking curly hair with juice dripping from. So I would never name a child Jerome. You can forget that shit.
You got to understand, I had a little issue here. I looking at Jumelle, her husband's Jerome. So that's why I made that mistake.
And the dripping. So not the typical Jerome. He's a cutie.
Okay, good. I was about to say, I'm glad we got an atypical Jerome in the house.
We do.
Jerome in the house. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't noticed, they are a lively bunch. They bring fun to politics, but they also bring truth to it. Their link is in the video description. You can check them out on TikTok. And Bill, Dr. Brooks, I always start my channel with kind of an icebreaker. It's my homage to the good women of the I've Had It podcast. And we call this section, We've Had It. Here's the music. I want to prove to people that chivalry is not dead. Dr. Brooks, you get first crack at this. What have you had it with living under MAGA?
Everything. Let me see if I can condense it. The lack of respect for experts and knowledge across the board in every area. Find the dumbest people, put them in charge of most important things, and call yourself a rock star. That's what we got.
Wow. Bill, you got a rebuttal. My goodness.
A rebuttal? How do you rebut truth? She just dropped a truth bomb. All you can do is take it. Take it like a man. She's got 100% facts right there.
I agree 110%. I've never seen a place on planet Earth that claims they're about democracy when if you're the white Christian male pretender, your ass fails to the top. So I completely agree with Dr. Brooks. And ladies and gentlemen, Bill is not that type of guy I'm talking about. Y'all know the guy I'm talking about. Sits around, drinks beers, a gut that's the size of Saturn, and watches NASCAR all day, injects Fox News into their veins 24/7, runs around with 2 teeth and talk about freedom. That's the type of white guy I'm talking about. Not Bill. No way.
No, I got 3 teeth at least, so you were close, but that doesn't fit me.
And those teeth are super clean, Bill, so you smile as much as your ass wants to with them clean 3 teeth. I'm with you. What have you had it with, Bill?
I'll tell you what, I've had it with Democrats. I'll tell you specifically, this is why Republicans win. You want to know why Republicans win? Even the worst of the worst candidates, why a Herschel Walker almost wins? Because Republican voters will find just one thing that they agree with the Republican candidate. Just one thing. They could care less about felonies and rapes and everything else, but they find that one thing they like. They'll go ahead and vote for the guy and just ignore the rest. Democrats, on the other hand, will leave you over just one thing. You could be 99% in alignment, but if there's that one thing, you don't like Duke's mayo, oh, well, I'm not voting this year, and that's why we lose. We're purists. So I got to tell the Democrats, you're never going to find perfect. Knock it off. Just look at the competition and pick the better of the 2 choices. Otherwise, we're in the shit that we're in today.
Anything to say about that, Dr. Brooks?
I echo Bill like no other. Well done, partner. That is a true statement. We find the one thing and that's it for us. So I'm glad that you said it. Click that in a loop so that I can replay and add that to your intro music and we'll be good to go.
I thought we're supposed to put that on a t-shirt. I thought that's what we're supposed to do with all these things, right? Put that on a shirt.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Put it on a t-shirt. Go to Shopify and get it on a t-shirt. I agree with Bill. Democrats, I was on an island when Michelle Obama said, when they go low, we go high. I said, fuck that. When they go low, we go to hell and push their asses out is what I had said, because they have no scruples on the other side of the aisle. None. They don't care if you're a convicted rapist. They don't care if you pretend to be a Christian and have a cult dungeon in the back of the pulpit. They do not care.
Well, Lamont, they do care. They care only if it's not them.
Good point.
So if you were doing all of that, it would be a problem. But because it's them, no, they're going to hide behind a cloak of Christianity and go right along with what you're saying. So you're absolutely right. They don't care if it's them, but if it's us, they care.
All right, Lamont, what's your thing that's got you going?
I got a video for mine.
Ooh, let's see.
I have had it with this person. All I'm going to say is cockeyed cash.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that
I had my buddy Barrett send that to me just a few minutes ago. I was cracking up over it. I tell you, I didn't realize how short the dude was. He's a little man.
That's not my issue with him. As Dr. Brooks said, he's unqualified. That's number one. Mm-hmm. My biggest issue with him, he's the head of one of the top crime fighting agencies in all the world. And when he looks straight, his ass is looking to the left. So if I'm robbing a fucking bank and I'm on his right side, he can't see me. How the hell you let someone that unqualified get to the top? Cash, put some damn glasses on, brother. Stop looking like someone took your eyeballs and put them in the spin cycle of the washing machine, bro. That's not a good look. We need you to get your life together. Get some glasses, wear them dark ass shades like you Men in Black, so we don't know you cockeyed, so the criminals don't know which way your eyes is going, and then maybe you can start catching some real bad guys. I've had it with Cockeyed Cash.
You know what he did before being in the FBI?
Oh,
he wrote children's books. He wrote children's books about Donald Trump. He wrote pro-Trump kiddie books about Trump winning in the kingdom, Trump slaying the dragon. Authored by Cockeyed Cash Patel.
He's probably in that PragerU somewhere in a video for PragerU.
Do you really think that? Look at them eyes. You really think he wrote that shit? There is no. He had a ghostwriter. He ain't write nothing. He couldn't.
No. It was him because all the coloring was outside the lines. It was all sloppily filled in. You could tell it was him.
Thank you. Exactly. We know it was him now. That's how you do it. Ladies and gentlemen, post your comments. Let us know what you've had it with. The best ones we'll play on the air. And I think it's only fair that we get to the subject that our guests have brought us. And I got B-roll for them. They thought I wasn't going to be able to find no B-roll, but I do have B-roll, and it might make them smile. But before we get to that, I do have sponsors. If you're interested in getting in on the initial phases of building a film and you want to invest, go check out my good people, Aaron at the Share app. This is a crowdfunding source that pays back to the people that crowdfunded. There is a link in my video description so that you can check her out on a Zoom call with some of the other industry folks that are with her. Aaron at Share, check her out. Further ado, here we go with the B-roll.
Hold on. Jumelle, how come we don't got sponsors?
I don't know. We got to do something different.
Where's our damn sponsors?
Well, they hiding, but we got to find them.
Well, I can help you in that department. You need some sponsors. Your boy got you. I got you.
Are they dropping you $1,000 a spot? Is that the going rate?
No, not $1,000. They try to negotiate like Trump, which means I always win. That's what they do. So I'll teach you the secrets of this shit, okay? I got you. Y'all ain't know y'all was getting up here with the magic Negro, did you? I got you.
I know I'm with the Negro whose chair doesn't lift up. Why are you always halfway down like your face is barely above the screen?
My chair is broken. That's why.
That's why we got. Let's sponsor Lamont a new chair.
I love
man needs some height.
I'm never getting rid of it. You're not the first to have that critique. I'm not getting rid of this.
It's not a critique.
I'm not. Maybe I'll put a cushion in it, something like that. Yeah. But getting rid of this chair, this is my lucky chair. It's not going on.
I get it.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. What is going on in Greenwood, South Carolina? Take a look.
Well, let's start with this because we actually have a follow-up to our last episode.
Okay.
We had talked about the attempt to get a hate crimes ordinance considered in city council.
Yeah.
And we happen to have in the studios with us right now the agitator-in-chief, Dr. Jumelle Brooks.
I love that.
A black, white, and blue in the South exclusive.
Yeah.
So tell us, Jumelle, when we last spoke, you shared how you stood in front of city council and you asked them to just consider what many other municipalities have done throughout the state and throughout the country and pass a hate crimes ordinance since our state General Assembly has absolutely no interest in doing so.
What will happen is it will pass under the sitting council or it will pass under the newly seated council. It's the choice of each person who casts that vote. And it's not a threat. It is literally what happens. Laws pass either while you are in office or they pass when you're out of office.
No, that right there is what we call an A roll, buddy. That's no B roll. That's an A roll. That's an alpha roll that you just played.
Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with the A-listers here. My bad. Bill, floor is yours. Tell us what's going on down in y'all's neck of the woods, because a lot of people might not know, but there are some issues going on in that area.
Yeah, we're in a little tiny town, upstate South Carolina. I would say about 45 miles south of Greenville. So if you know where Greenville is, we're just down south of there. We are what is this? Good Lord.
Map. It's a map.
This is too white for even me. Get that picture off, man. Look. Whew.
Oh my God.
You got to warn a brother before you flash something like that up there.
I was just trying to help the audience, man. Like you said where it said, I just want them to see the pros and cons.
There you go, right there.
With Gary Owens' older brother. That's all. That's it.
Good Lord. I think we got to end the show. My brain just wiped blank. I got nothing. I'm done. No, so Greenwood's a small city. I'd say about 20,000 residents in the city, 40-some thousand in the county as a whole. And I moved here in 2012, so I can't say I've lived here all my life, but I have noticed, just even in recent years, there's a racial tension that is brewing underneath the hood. Like people will smile, everybody's friendly, people will get along, but there's some simmering tensions. And this past year, it's really come to a boil. There's been a couple of incidents that I think Jumelle can give a quick summary on. There's been an attempt to get a hate crimes ordinance passed that was rejected. You've got the lawmakers from our town all about CRT and DEI and all that crap. So we've got a very oppressive group that's in charge. And then you've got this underbelly, the people that actually make the city work, that are now starting to get, a little fed up. And then there was a Christmas parade announcement that we're going to conclude with. I don't want to just jump right into that Christmas parade announcement, because I think you need to know the background first before we get into that parade.
Okay, so I'll give you the background on the two incidents, and maybe the hate crime ordinance. Two incidents. Both incidents involved white men being aggressive towards Black women. One incident, highly publicized, so if you just search Greenwood and the Black woman or the white man, you're probably going to find it. So the first one was two business owners, white man and the Black woman. White man and the Black woman have a disagreement. White man pulls weapon on Black woman. Police officers arrive. No one goes to jail. I think in the end, the Black woman got served with a no trespass, but no one said anything. I think the white man still had his weapon displayed in the front of his waistband. That was kind of like blown off. There was definitely some obviously catering to the white male. So that was incident number one. Incident number two was a Black lady driving down the road. Something must have occurred because there was a white male driving down the road beside her, rushing up beside her, almost like they're riding side by side. She's frantic. She's trying to record. And you can beep this out if you choose. But the white man yells out of the window, "Where did that car get that nigger from?" The girl is still trying to record. The guy is still yelling out all kind of obscenities and slurs. She turned this over. The city investigated, and it looked like a hate crime. That's what the city said. Members of the city said a hate crime. However, when they ran the videos back from different flop cam systems around the city, they were able to come back and say, no, it's in the county's jurisdiction. And so the sheriff came back and said, it's not a hate crime, that we can't penalize people for the freedom of speech. That was that. The mayor gave a whack-ass response about it, hoping that it shouldn't happen and wishing that it never would happen again. Most people tried to stand up under the freedom of speech. When we tried to articulate, we're not coming for your freedom of speech, is what you do with those words. When those words lead to actions that harm someone, that's what we're coming from, and that's what you're not going to be able to do. That and just as Bill mentioned, that roaring that's happening under the scenes that nobody hears. instances that maybe not have been reported.
Hey, Jumelle, talk about our Juneteenth parade.
Oh, the Juneteenth parade. We're walking down the street. We have police escorts to escort the parade down. We're standing behind the Democratic flag because that's the party we were with, and that's the group we were with. And there's this white guy drives down the street on the opposite side in a big white truck that hollers out, "Fuck all of y'all."
Oh.
Okay. We don't even know where that's coming from, but that's the hate. So from all three instances, they have hit the newspaper. In all three instances, you have a large population of white people in Greenwood that are supporting the actions of the white people that were the aggressors. You get a lot of, well, you need to toughen up. You're a little too soft. You know, sticks and stones may break my bones. And I keep saying it, and they say words will never hurt. We ain't worried about the words, partner. We got the words. What we worried about is the sticks and the stones. And it's not going to go the way people plan. So my request for the hate crime ordinance was to let Greenwood get ahead of what could potentially happen.
So big picture, our state, South Carolina, is only one of 2 states in the entire country that does not have any hate crimes on the state books. Correct. Only one of 2.
Correct.
And it's not from lack of trying. You know, people have been trying every year to pass something of a hate crime, even if it's just an enhanced penalty, like it's already a crime. But if it was done because you were black or gay or some other group, all right, you get an enhanced penalty on top of that, right? It's not a crime of speech in and of itself. You have to commit a different crime, but if it's for hate, then you get enhanced penalty. Couldn't get that passed. So that's the context. So we go at it at the local level.
So let's back up, Bill. Let me grab this. We've heard the person that they say is the governor of South Carolina. He on the books is that. So the governor of South Carolina says that all crimes are hate crimes. And you have candidates that are running for the governor of South Carolina now still saying that they support that there is no need for a hate crime. What they want to do is to make sure they have the right judges on the books to persecute the laws that are in place. So side note, it's not going to happen at the state level if you don't line it and stack it with the right people that can vote and pass it and get you a governor that will sign off. It's not happening. So we decided to go at the local level because the South Carolina Municipal Association handles all the municipalities. And they kind of give an initiative for each year that tells each municipality how to fill in the gaps that the state might have just to make you more marketable. So one of the things that they recommended in 2023, 24 was that the cities and towns implement hate crime ordinances. Okay. Now here's the kicker. Our mayor was on the committee that decided those initiatives. The Greenwood mayor was on that committee and never instituted it in Greenwood. So I just brought back what they had already said and said, can y'all do it? And they said no. Bottom line was they got so nervous, they went to a city attorney, and the city attorney states that it is a violation of the Constitution and that he will now check with the Alan Wilson to see if it is, in fact, a violation of the Constitution.
Alan Wilson is our very MAGA attorney general who's also running for governor. So you know what answer you're going to get there. Meanwhile, other cities and towns and counties throughout South Carolina have passed it. Somehow they found it to be constitutional just fine. Greenwood's like, oh, ho, ho, not constitutional. We got issues.
And one has found it and recently charged a man with it. That was Richland County.
Yeah.
Found
it. Lamont, have you heard of Mother Emanuel AME Church? Has that reached up there in North Carolina?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, here's a state where a kid walked into a black African Methodist Episcopalian church during a Bible study and killed 9 people cold blood. Like they invited this white kid in to sit down and join their Bible study. Then he pulls out a gun and shoots him dead, leaves a few survivors. With that, the state still can't find a way to pass a hate crimes bill.
Not only that, but with that, amongst that 9, that Emmanuel 9 was one of the senator's own.
What?
Yes. A
state senator was part of that group. A lawmaker was part of that Bible study and was killed.
And they will not pass it. And they saw one of their own fall victim to this hate.
What the rest of the nation saw as a a token of good esteem was Nikki Haley saying no more Confederate flags on public area. Didn't get rid of it on the private. No more Confederate flags on the public area. And I think that was supposed to be the appeasement for what happened at the church or what may have you.
Something that should have been done anyway, but now we're going to use this as the grand gesture, please.
Yeah, say that.
Right. Wow, I have a few questions, man. This is ridiculous.
So you see why I was talking to Lamont before we went live, and I was saying we look up north to North Carolina with envy.
Yes.
I was telling him that. I says, we look to you all, and he couldn't believe it. He's like, hey, man, things are fucked up here. Can't believe you're looking to us. We had a chance. Jumelle, do you remember hearing Governor Roy Cooper speak at one of our dinners?
Yeah.
He came down and spoke at a Democratic convention dinner, fundraising dinner. He was phenomenal. And we just looked at him saying, please stay. Please stay and be our governor.
No,
don't leave.
No. And I'll say this about him. He's so slick. He can talk MAGA men out of their draws. That's how slick he is. Because he won twice.
I want them to stay in their drawers if you don't mind.
Look, if you get them out of their drawers, they won't go coming out. That's the thing. If you get these MAGA men out of their underwear, they're not going to go show up and vote. We need them to get naked on voting day, and we'll never see their asses voting. That's what we need them to happen.
Speaking of naked men, I got to share this with you, Lamont. Just to tell you how goofed up things are in South Carolina, and then you got to ask us your questions. Yeah. So we've got 5 people who have already announced to run for governor on the Republican side, like Representative Nancy Mace. Representative Ralph Norman, a couple of lowlifes. They all want to be governor. We have only one who's announced so far to run for governor on the Democratic ticket. In fact, he just announced today. His name is Mullins McLeod. You don't know Mullins McLeod because nobody knows Mullins McLeod. He's a guy, he's a lawyer in Charleston. But what he is known for, look at Jamelle's laughing because she knows what's coming. This guy is known for, and he put out a slick video today. He put out his campaign launch. Great video, great message. I mean, man, this guy is a winner, except for the fact that back in May, he was arrested for being buck naked out in the streets, screaming he was God and Superman, and was being violent with police, and he was completely out of his head. That was May. That was 3 months ago he was doing this. 3 months later now, he's announced his run for governor on the Democratic ticket. That's how good we got it.
Well, if he was on the Republican ticket, he'd be top of the ticket.
Yeah, he'd be voted in.
Yeah.
But no, our candidate's the buck naked candidate. So we're just glad to be South Carolinian Democrats.
Lord have mercy. Y'all got a guy that was tripping out on bath salts.
Yeah.
That's about to run for the Democrat. Lord Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's what we got.
Envy, man. Envy.
With what's going on with hate crime, people still can be charged federally in South Carolina for a hate crime, right? Or
correct.
What level of heinousness does it has to reach before it's considered a federal hate crime?
We actually interviewed, remember D. Elder? Mm-hmm. We interviewed a Senate candidate here in South Carolina, and she's transgender, and she actually served on a jury that convicted the first federal hate crimes here in South Carolina. And it was the murder of another transgender individual by the person's date that they met on the internet, killed him in cold blood. And that actually ended up being a conviction under federal hate crimes law.
Wow. Well, I want you guys to keep fighting this fight.
Hey, do we talk about the Christmas parade now? So with all that background, can we tell you about the Christmas parade? Okay, you got that poster?
Do you have the poster you can put up?
Where's our B poster? If you don't got it, we'll just explain it. It looks like you're working for it, though.
God dang on 1776.
I don't have it.
All right.
Oh, crap face. Okay.
Well, that's all right. Why don't you just explain it, Jumelle? What's on that poster? You want me to do it? How do you want to do this?
Well, okay, you go, but who's going to describe the outfits?
Okay, so the city of Greenwood has a Christmas parade every year. Jumelle and I, marched in it a couple of times. By the way, you should know, both of us ran for office last year. We both ran for state house in adjacent districts. So we marched in the parade last year. It's a good time. I would say about 1,000 people turn out, a lot of kids, a lot of candy. It's a good time. This year, they decided to have a theme, and the theme was 1776 colonies theme. That's what we're going with the theme for a Christmas parade. So Jumelle, what was the nearly unanimous reaction of the African American community in the city of Greenwood to that theme?
What the hell? Black folk wasn't in no colonies. We were slaves. And the whole thing, the people are going like, well, what the hell they want us to wear? Chains? Because we were chains. But they said dress it up and make it festive, powdered white wigs, and we go
powdered wigs.
Like, and so we had, I'm gonna call her out, but Teresa Super Goodman wrote a great post on social media that called the city out to say, hey, what were you trying to do? Because you missed the mark. And the city finally responded pretty quickly. It was a quick turnaround. I wish they would have did that for the hate crime ordinance, but they turned around really quickly and said, oh, we're going to change it. And we're going to make sure that the parade's theme this year is inclusive and diverse. And that's when all the MAGA went crazy. How dare you lower yourself? If you step down for this, you'll step down for whatever. If they don't like it, just tell them don't come.
Yeah, or tell them to leave. If you don't like it, you can leave. That's the battle cry.
And then Christmas is about Jesus Christ. What are they talking about? Well, Jesus Christ wouldn't write that 1776 and ask Black folk to show up and smile about it. But they did recant, and then the mayor, I'm just gonna put it out there, wrote a weak ass response. I still don't think he gave me what I need, but he wrote a response to say that it was not written intentionally. It was definitely an oversight, and that no one on the team is racist, those kind of things to placate people's emotions. But if you got two eyes, you can see through that crap.
I think the best response I saw was Nafi. He went online with a video. He says, what they expect us to do, jump out of a van in chains and slave gear and pull a sleigh? Like I said, you know what? I wish he had done it. That would have made national news. I mean, imagine a Christmas parade where you got a guy in a powdered wig and a whip beating on slaves pulling a Christmas sleigh with Santa on it. That would be national news.
And I keep telling people, here's what we got to get past. We've got to get past this willful ignorance. Anything that you come up with, and here's the kicker, Lamont. Greenwood City is predominantly Black.
What?
The Christmas parade is in the city. Now, how many of them you gonna see with powdered wigs on? Somebody tell me.
The problem here is this is clearly a situation where DEI was lacking. Nobody in that room was Black to say, bruh, this is a horrible idea. No, they had nobody. I mean, fucking put Webster in the room. He would have said it's a bad idea. Put Sanford and Son in the room. They would have said it's a bad idea. Come on, man. And whoever did it.
Those people need 40 hours of mandatory CRT training. That's what they need.
They do. And the Black people, just for having to deal with the idea, we need 40 acres and a mule. Everybody in Greenwood needs 40 acres and a mule just for having to suffer with that crazy ass idea, man. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Great.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you love good storytelling, you got to go and check them out on TikTok. They got stories for days. They ran for office. They can tell you what the politics is like, what the financing is like. You've got to
Let's plug that name again while you're there, while you're giving us good feelings. It's Black, White, and Blue in the South. Because, did you know Jameel's Black? Did you know I'm white? And did you know we're both blue?
Yeah.
We're both Democrats in the South. Hence the name of our show, Black, White, and Blue in the South.
Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, they need all the help they can get. They in South Carolina.
We fighting.
We fighting hard.
They need all the good juju they can get. Trust me. So
we need sponsors.
Yeah. I'm gonna help them with that. I'm gonna help them get broke off with a piece of change or whatever. I'm gonna help them with that.
We need somebody to offer us 40 acres and a mule for our show.
Exactly.
For real. Listen, I don't want Santa Claus. I need for us to stop looking for just that 40 acre and a mule. I need a reoccurring deposit of 40 acres and a mule to make up for everything that I've done. I don't want just one time. He go 40 acres and he go a mule. I want it to be reoccurring. Somebody work that out.
I'm with it.
I mean,
maybe we should get a complete lifetime, no taxes paid on nothing.
Okay.
no sales tax, no property tax, no income tax, no nothing. That would be the best way to say, hey, we're sorry for 400 years of degradation.
You made us look like we was friends with Trump. You took away all the taxes, so we didn't made it up to the billionaire status. Just ain't clear.
You asked for it. You. The only thing I didn't give you was a deficit. A budget deficit. That's the only thing I didn't give you. That's the only thing I didn't give you. Folks, check this out. This is going to be a clip of a lot of things that have been said over the last couple of days on MAGA's war on women. And they try to couch it and put a bow on it and call it religion, folks. They're lying. Jesus would have never done any of this shit that they're talking about. But they want to use religion and that type of mindset to be able to interweave in the creases of your mind to put other things in there that they can control. And so we're going to see the full clip. Then we're going to talk about these buffoons one by one. So here is a full clip of what has been said over the weekend. And Bill, one thing is going to be said that I guarantee you've never heard in the locker room, because I ain't never heard it. Let's take a look.
If a woman tells me no, should I act like an illegal immigrant and do it anyway? Liberals, you make no sense. Does no mean no or not?
So you just think they're meant to have babies? That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically.
It doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically.
Guys can get over that stuff. We call each other pedophiles, but we don't always mean it.
Bill, when's the last time you called a man a pedophile? I mean, he's almost saying it like I would say to one of my black homies, "What's up, my nigga?" Run up on.
Well, about 30 minutes ago, to be quite honest with you, because we have a state house representative who literally was jailed for possession of child pornography not too long ago, about 2 months ago. So this is the Moms for Liberty endorsed Freedom Caucus founding R.J. May.
Yeah.
So, I was just talking about him. He's a pedophile. So I would say about 30, 40 minutes ago.
Okay. Well, Bill, you're killing my jokes here. When have you ran up on one of your friends and said, "What's up, my pedophile? What's up, my pedo? What's up, my pedo?" You know, never. I haven't. And then to the first dude, this guy right here, that looked like he went and robbed Santa Claus of his face. This guy right here that said women don't have to have talent.
Clearly his mother did not. Clearly his mother didn't have any talent, because she just has the little guy who looks like the little mucus guy on Mucinex. I thought that was the most ignorant ass response to say that there was absolutely no talent. He looks like no talent. And the rest of that interview with that lunatic needs to be aired over and over again. But you know what? And I see Bill, he done got me on one. I was going to try to stay calm. But you know what? Let me tell you something. That's what they need to hear. Every MAGA woman.
Would you like to hear the full video? Would you like before you go in? Would you like to hear the full video? We'll pick on him first. Would you like to hear the full video?
Yes, I
Here's
would.
the full video of how they are trying to attack, suppress, depress, and reduce the role of women in America.
The kind of people that people come out of.
So you just think they're meant to have babies? That's it. They're just a vessel.
No, it doesn't take any talent to simply reproduce biologically. The wife and mother, who is the chief executive of the home, is entrusted with 3 or 4 or 5 eternal souls.
I'm here as a working journalist, and I'm a mom of 3.
Good for you.
Is that an issue for you?
No, it's not automatically an issue.
Josh and Amy Prince, along with their 4 kids, moved here from Washington State.
Do you see Amy as your equal?
Yes and no, in the sense that we're both saved by grace. We're absolutely on equal footing, but we have very different purposes, God-given.
But do you see yourself as the head of the household, as the man?
He is the head of our household. Yes, and I do submit to him.
So, like, moving here
I was just going to say that.
ultimately your decision.
Yes,
that's a great
example.
Wilson says in his vision of a Christian society, women as individuals shouldn't be able to vote. His fellow pastors Jared Longshore and Toby Sumter agree.
In my ideal society, we would vote as households. And I would ordinarily be the one that would cast the vote, but I would cast the vote having discussed it with my household.
But what if there's your wife doesn't want to vote for the same person as you?
Right. well, then that's a great opportunity for a good discussion.
There are some who have gone so far as to say that they want the 19th Amendment repealed.
I would support that. And I'd support it on the basis that the atomization that comes with our current system is not good for humans.
And Wilson, a veteran himself, is unapologetic about his view that women shouldn't be in certain leadership or combat roles.
Looking at the leadership page for Christ Church, it's all men. Do you accept women in leadership roles in the church and government?
In the church, no.
Why?
Because the Bible says not to.
Wilson is part of a broader Christian nationalist movement making inroads with the Trump administration, with a newly created faith office led by evangelical pastor Paula White Cain, and people seen right outside the White House entrance praying and speaking in tongues.
We are standing on the soil of the White House, and we are declaring your word.
Okay, that's
no! You cut it off at the best part.
No.
When she starts speaking in tongues, that shit's hilarious.
No. Dr. Brown, let me give it to you first. Golly. It's like these pastors, they're like failed child actors or some shit, and then they decide they can get in front of a pulpit and start doing it. What do you think about the way they're trying to segregate women?
I think what you typically do in war is you find the strongest component of something, and you try to diminish its power. So if you look at if you statistically look at who votes, women vote. Women vote at a larger rate than men. And so if women get fed up with what's happening and truly get fed up with what's happening, and they start to listen to their daughters who are fed up with what's happening, we'll push out more of a female vote. And that's a strong population. That's a strong possibility that what's in leadership and things that are going on won't continue to go. The way you do this, and I always say, like, I think T.D. Jakes wrote a book, Joyce Myers wrote a book, and there were a whole bunch of other people that wrote a book, and it talked about the battlefield is in the mind. I think that was Joyce Myers' title. If you can convince women or anybody with a brain that somebody else is supposed to think for you, you weaken them. And I think their strategy is to use things that are most sacred to women to weaken them. Women have a strong relationship with their mates, and they want to respect them. I think that women have a strong relationship with religion and the thoughts and ideologies that are associated with it. So the biggest way to take out the most dominant threat in the political field is to start to play with their minds by attacking their status in the home and their religious structure. And you're going to use one to make sure that you do what the other one says. So women have to either wake up or go back to the kitchen. I mean, there's an influx of this type ideology that is coming out. And I think it's a bunch of crap. And it is all because women are starting to be a little too vocal. And I don't think that they're comfortable with that. One of the guys in that clip said that ultimately my idea would be is that we vote as a household. Well, fool, who you think ain't voting as a household now? Like right now, I always say this to people, I'm Black. And we'll get on the couch or we might be around the kitchen table and we have a conversation about who's running for office. And so when my husband go vote, he knows who to go vote for. We've already talked about it. My boys know who to go vote for. So those conversations are being held, and we don't need anybody to structure it to make sure you force a certain way of thought. Allow people to use their own minds and think for themselves. They're a bunch of assholes, is what we're doing.
Wow. Yeah. Bill, how did you follow that type of heat from Dr. Brooks? I mean, what do you think about the men that want to take us to Handmaid's Tale in real life?
Well, I don't know. You play that video of Timu Santa, and he was making some compelling points. You know, I look at Dr. Brooks here. I don't see her as my equal. You know, she's clearly superior to me. Intellectually, physically, I mean, I get out of line, she beat me down faster than I can clap back. So I actually know my place in society. This is a woman's world, and I'm just their guest.
Wow.
Oh,
well, Jumelle, talk about your experience, though, with that MAGA male mentality is not limited to MAGA white males. You encountered
Brace yourself. So when I was running, I think it really traumatized me, and I'm still probably gonna go through this. But while running, I had several Black men that just would not vote for me because I was a woman.
Oh, of course.
Just would not vote. In no way, shape, or form would consider it. So they chose to vote for a white conservative who ultimately won the seat, that only addresses conservative voters, only considers what conservative voters want, only makes ways for success for conservative voters. And they voted against their own best interests because I was a Black woman running, and they couldn't get past it.
Well, look at what they did to Kamala. It's the same thing. She got less votes than Hillary because white MAGA made worst nightmares of Black educated people. That's their work. Because y'all are educated, they look at y'all and they want to fuck you and they can't have you. And then they know that you've had to deal with so many issues through society and have remained resilient.
Yeah.
They give you the power, you're going to wield that bitch the way Trump is wielding it for them. They are afraid that y'all will wield it for us in that way, and they are so scared of that shit.
Damn right. If I ever get it, that's exactly what's going to happen.
That's right. You better wield Thor's hammer.
That's right.
Let it lighten. But folks, you've got to do something to add a little critical thinking into the mix. I think the Democrats need to start playing the long game that the Republicans have played with religion since back in the 60s. Democrats have got to start playing the critical thinking long game by getting in schools, making sure there is some critical thought taught so that people can understand to be independent and question authority. The more you allow someone to tell you to listen to me because God said it, the more you're going to sink into, do you really have control of your own life?
Well,
and when certain things bother you, that you feel in your heart is wrong, and you don't have the confidence to critically think and go search, is this right or is this wrong? Or should I listen to this guy that said God said do it, when in my heart I know good and damn well God ain't say do nothing like that? Democrats, get on your P's and Q's. Let's play that long game the way the Republicans have done it. I only got one more for y'all, then I'll let y'all go back to the black, blue, and white land that y'all love so much.
He can't be blue. Bill's not blue.
I know. That was a joke. I was waiting for Bill to say. Bill is killing all my jokes tonight. I was waiting for him to jump in and say something, and he didn't. See, when you want Bill to do something, he don't do it. When you don't want him to do something, Bill does it. Golly.
I am perfect husband material. You see it in action right now.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. It must be some good ripple in that cup you drinking, my brother. Some good old ripple. Ladies and gentlemen, Trump is trying to do what he did in LA. And a lot of us think that this is just a calm before the storm of him testing what it's like to send the National Guard to all these major cities that have blue voters, that he might try to pull this type of rigmarole when it's time to vote. Well, now he's trying to do it to DC. Take a look at this news clip and we'll break it down for you.
Meantime, our other top story, President Trump now considering deploying the National Guard to D.C. as he floats the idea of a federal takeover of the district. A defense official and 2 U.S. officials say that the president could make that announcement tomorrow during a press availability on D.C. crime. Now, they stress this decision is not final and no orders have been signed yet. Meanwhile, Mayor Bowser is emphasizing that crime is down in the city, which Justice Department data and the latest statistics from D.C. police all show. Our Amy Cho has the latest.
President Trump has posted on Truth Social multiple times expressing frustration with crime and homelessness here in the district. He said those topics will be addressed at the press availability Monday morning, writing in part, "The homeless have to move out immediately. We will give you places to stay, but far from the Capitol. The criminals, you don't have to move out. We are going to put you in jail where you belong." President Trump also posted on social media pictures of tents and litter. Those pictures appear to have been taken at the East Street Expressway near the Kennedy Center. Now, this all comes as federal agents have stepped up their presence in the district after a 19-year-old former DOJ staffer was assaulted during an attempted carjacking last week. The White House says last night it had 450 federal agents patrolling the streets, and they made several arrests for charges like carrying a pistol without a license, driving on a suspended license, and riding a dirt bike. DC police data shows this year there has been a 26% drop in violent crime. Today, Mayor Muriel Bowser appeared on MSNBC to defend her record and to push back against a White House official's claim that DC is more violent than Baghdad.
One reason I wanted to be here today is to let people know that their nation's capital is among the most beautiful and best cities in the world. It's well run. Any comparison to a war-torn country is hyperbolic and false.
President Trump has also spoken repeatedly about the possibility of federalizing the district and taking over the police department. He says his lawyers are already studying how to overturn the Home Rule Act, which is what allows the district to govern itself. Today, we spoke with several folks who say they already feel safe here in the district.
The city is actually a lot safer than it ever has been before.
The city is a lot more walkable and safer than I expected it to be this weekend.
We also spoke with the grandfather of 3-year-old Taya Settles, who was shot and killed in D.C. last year. He doesn't want to see a federal takeover, but likes the idea of having more federal agents on the street.
The mayor seems not to have enough control of the activities that are arising.
Now, according to Mayor Bowser, D.C. police hope to hire about 500 people in the next few years, with district residents now waiting to see if President Trump will call in the National Guard. Amy Cho, News 4.
Bill, I'm going to give it to you first.
First of all, let me talk about Mayor Bowser. I don't know how much you know about her, and I hate to give shade to a mayor of a city under attack, but she is a prime tale that you cannot appease this president. You will get burned one way or the other. She has been in the White House. She has been in the Oval Office, smiling faces, making nice with this president, thinking, if I just kowtow to this maniac's going to leave me alone. And then fast forward a couple months later, and his boy Big Balls gets beat up on the streets. Now he wants to bring in the National Guard. That's what that Doge kid's name was. I don't know if you knew that. That was Big Balls. That was the man himself. He got his ass beat by like kids, by like 13-year-olds, if I remember the news correctly. So this mayor tried to appease a tyrant, and she learned just like everybody else. You're as big as Musk. You're as little as a mayor of a city. You will get burned by this devil. And appeasement will never work with a dictator. So do not give in now thinking it'll make your life easier.
Yeah.
Now, where was the National Guard and all this bull jive he's calling in on January 6th? Where were they?
We didn't have a National Guard then. He invented the National Guard after that, right? There was no National Guard on January 6th.
Oh, yeah. And they're having such a hard time getting people to work with ICE that failed supermen like Dean Cain are trying to get jobs with. Okay, like that's what we're good. Let me show y'all the statistics. Doctor.
Hold on, before you get the statistics, we need to talk about Dean Cain for a second. So this is a guy who played Superman 20 some years ago, right? Yeah. And every time they bring his name up, they show his Superman physique. They never show Dean Cain today. Dean Cain today is that guy you described at the opening of this show. You know, the belly, the toothlessness. He is far gone from Superman. Now, this guy's Pasta Man. He's long gone. He is the perfect MAGA ice man that you can imagine.
When they said ice, his ass thought it was ice cream. That's what he thought. And if y'all see Dean Cain, his ass is not running and catching nobody. I did a video about this. He's not catching anybody. Every
laborer on the side of Home Depot can outlap him in a second. Easy. In
a second. Dr. Brooks, before you speak, let me give you the stats. What they said about the crime dropping in D.C. is absolutely right. Through right now, from last year, every major area of crime is down. Now, you had the one black guy lost his daughter. Thoughts and prayers, even though I hate that slogan. Crime is going to happen a little bit anywhere you go. But what can the mayor do at this point when the Supreme Court has seemingly backed Trump for sending in National Guard willy-nilly whenever he wants to? Is there anything she's going to be able to do about this situation?
I mean, I don't think so. My thing with DC is, and you can find people who are for it and people who are against it, but DC needs statehood desperately. I saw that post today and I shared it. Like they have to have a voice. Right now, their only voice is who's in the White House. And we know DC requires and thrives off of the federal funding, but something has to happen there so that they will have a voice. She has really, I don't believe many people who assume the role as mayor in DC will have much power either way. Now, you might look more powerful depending on who's in the White House, but I don't think you're gonna, like, if it's a Democratic mayor, there's no way that she's going to look powerful and organizing things and has the things that she needs under someone like him. He is Captain Save-A-Ho. He wants to fly in and save everything that's not typically broken. And so this is like low-hanging fruit. This is a low situation. He can try to put a couple people on the ground, pick up the morale, and then it'll dive down. But this is all what I always talk to Bill about. These are all distractions from what he's about to really hit them with. So if you think that this is the big thing, you're wrong. It's what's happening behind the scenes that we haven't seen yet. So I don't think so. I think my response is, it depends on who's in the White House, how much power the mayor would have for that particular situation. And the best way to resolve that is to give them statehood.
We're going to have 27 people running to be the Democratic nominee for president. You're going to see a whole bunch. And the one that's going to get my vote is the first one who says that on day one of office, he's going to send the National Guard into Mar-a-Lago. Please. Whoever says the National Guard's going to Mar-a-Lago because of all the crime that's happening there, that person's got my vote. So I hope you're listening. Make that go out into the universe. I want that to happen.
We need a Democrat who's got the balls, or dare I say big balls, to do something like that. Yeah. You're going to have to get your ass in there, and everything Trump has done, I need you to do 10 times that many executive orders immediately. Like your first week in office, you ain't getting no sleep, dude. You're writing executive orders, undoing everything. You got to do something about that Supreme Court. And we've got to do something about the way power has shifted to help not the minorities of skin color, but the minorities of power. There is no reason Iowa should have the same amount of senators as California, as New York. We have got to do something about that, Democrats, or the minorities are going to continue to rule the rule of majorities.
Think of this, Lamont. You've got that big, beautiful bill that passed, right? The Senate passed it. The number of senators who voted for that represent 10% less United States citizens than the senators that voted against it because of what you just said. The minority of the people in the country put in a bill that now affect the majority.
Well, the only way you can get around that is for us to recognize that all layers of government matter. That means you don't sleep on any elections. You want to put a Democratic president in the office, but when you do that, you can't send that president by themselves. You've got to make sure that you stack that House and that Senate. You've got to make sure you gain supermajority or majority somewhere, because when you are the super minority, you just showing up just to say, I tried. But if you can stack it in such a way that whatever is coming forth, there are people on the back end in the House and the Senate that is going to ensure that it's in place, you're going to cover a lot of ground. And despite how good people think Trump is, that's why he's being as successful as people would think. It is because he has people working for him in the House and the Senate. But if you had somebody giving you hell, you wouldn't have time enough to create that much hell. And so he doesn't have that. We need that offset of power, and that we don't have it. And thanks, Lamont, for mentioning we got to do something with those justices, because that's just not working. That's not working. So I don't know if we're going to try to increase the number that are on the bench, because you can't take nobody off. So I'm not sure exactly what that would look like, but some type of plan has to come in place so that it will balance out that bench a little more to be equitable when it comes down to decision-making strategies, because that's not happening.
you executive order, expand it, and wait for, and by the time it gets to the Supreme Court, you're already going to have your judges up there to help say, oh yeah, we keeping this shit. That's what you do. You have to do what Trump is doing with the power. Yeah. Democrats have got to wield the power the way he's wielding it and wait for the law to say no. As long as you're doing what needs to be done for the democracy, it's going to be a hard time to stop what needs to be done. Before I get out of here, let me thank my super chatter who came to say hello. Thank you, Michelle. I appreciate these super chats. You know, I come from doing movies and TV show reviews, and I just couldn't do that no more because of what's going on in this country. And I appreciate you taking this long journey with me to get these two channels revamped. Please be sure to subscribe to my guests. Their link is in the description. What do you guys have going on your TikTok that my fans can come and check out in the next couple of days?
Bill?
Oh, this is a me question because I run the TikToks.
He loves the TikToks.
So yeah, the TikToks are just a little taste of the full episodes that we do. All right, they're just a little taste. We're not a TikTok show, but I will take 8-9 clips from every episode, throw that out there for everybody to see because I know we're in a short attention span universe. So you're going to see some of the highlights of our show. You see something you like, though, I recommend. Come find us, Black, White, and Blue in the South. Listen to us. We publish every other week. So it's not too much to digest. But I tell you what, you will be entertained. You will be informed. You will be in love with Dr. Jumelle Brooks. Everybody likes her. I'm just in her way.
No.
Just see if you agree.
No, we're the blend, Bill.
Well, you got to go and see how you feel about that, ladies and gentlemen. I've known Bill for a short time, and in that short time, I haven't known Bill to tell one lie. Not one lie, ladies and gentlemen, not a single lie.
True.
So that's going to do it for us, ladies and gentlemen. We're out of here. Please be sure to go and check them out. Subscribe. You know, you can find me on the podcast, both YouTube channels, both TikToks, anywhere, the Instagram. I'm here for y'all. Please let me know what is going on. Go check out my film that's coming out soon. I'll keep you guys posted on that. And until my next Sexy as Hell video with Sexy as Hell guests, we're out. And you get
hey, Lamont, let me just say thank you for inviting us. You run a good show. This is a good production, man. This was very enjoyable. You're a great host.
Thank you. We try. You see this dark-skinned man doing what he can over here, damn it. It's hard to get the right light straight. You know, I'm thinking I'm going to go with the smoky-eyed number 7. The one that you start putting that on my eyeballs. I just let you know what y'all think. And we're out of here.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Black, White, and Blue in the South. Thank you again to Lamont Tyson for having us on his show. It was a blast. Stay tuned for our next episode where Jumelle and I head back into the studio for a compelling interview with a mover and a shaker in South Carolina, the Jessica Bright. We hope you enjoyed what you heard today. Please take a quick minute and leave us a rating and review of this show. We really want to know what you think. If you do, it'll ensure that Jumelle and I never again release an episode with such wonky audio quality. I pinky swear it. If you are a blue dot in a red sea, keep the faith, keep up the hard work. Change only happens over many years of work and dedication. As President Theodore Roosevelt once said, a great democracy has got to be progressive, or it will soon cease to be either great or a democracy.
The end. The preceding podcast is solely owned by its host or hosts and is distributed by Big Media LLC. Copyright 2025, all rights reserved.